Today of Investigate TV Plus, outrunning police with electric cars.
I will say it goes from 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds. It's extremely fast.
Why some law enforcement agencies are making the switch to keep up with the crooks.
Then from police pursuits to sudden stops. As cars become smarter, it's not just about speed, but safety.
Basically, it's going to apply the brakes if you aren't able to reach them in time.
We take an in-depth look at a new standard for passenger vehicles that's putting the brakes on crashes before they happen.
Plus, in an uncertain world with severe weather and global pandemics, preparing for the worst no longer seems far-fetched.
A lot of people just have this feeling things are getting worse and eventually something's going to happen.
We get insight into the prepper mindset and hear from people who say it's time to redefine the stereotype.
And from early morning exercises to evening train whistles.
Every day is different. Every day is fun.
How one senior is keeping the past alive and the future moving forward.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus. Police nationwide are finding their gas-powered patrol cars are no match for suspects fleeing in electric vehicles. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. In order to keep up, one Atlanta area police force is electrifying its fleet. They say it's mostly about saving fuel and money, but the switch comes with a surprising performance boost when seconds count.
Investigative reporter Brendan Keefe takes an in-depth look at the new tech powering their pursuits.
Atlanta police chase suspected shooters near Georgia Tech. The suspects driving an electric car.
That's negative. Continuing over McDaniel.
The Tesla quickly outruns the gas-powered police cars, disappearing into the 21st century. If not for the police helicopter and impact with another car, the suspects might have gotten away.
When seconds count, the police are minutes away. This shortens that time, doesn't it?
Indeed, substantially.
Lieutenant Jessica Howard is putting the GT in GTPD.
This vehicle would keep up with just about anything on the road.
Anything, yeah.
Driving the first electric patrol car for Georgia Tech police.
Have you ever mashed the throttle?
I have.
Tell me what it's like.
I will say it goes from 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds.
It's very fast.
It's extremely fast.
Police departments across the nation are falling behind when chasing electric vehicles.
The driver of a stolen Tesla out of Vegas.
The instant power of the electric motors is no match for the fastest internal combustion engine patrol cars.
This standard production car is twice as fast as the most popular police pursuit vehicle. It even has a higher top speed. Obeying all the laws for demonstration purposes, let's mash the pedals at the same time. 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. It's no contest, leaving most police pursuit vehicles in the dust. This car that can outrun a state trooper? Is it a Porsche? Maybe a Tesla? No, it's a Kia EV.
The Georgia State Patrol is sticking with its gasoline-powered engines and slower patrol cars. The Georgia State Patrol told us our agency did look into EV patrol cars for the fleet, but they did not meet the needs of the agency. Not Georgia Tech. Its police department is outfitting 3 electric patrol cars, turning the stock Mustang Mach-E GT into the police car of tomorrow. Under the hood, state-of-the-art electronics, fueling a car that is both mean and green.
As people buy more electric vehicles, those vehicles are going to be more capable than the typical internal combustion engine police car.
No, absolutely.
Georgia Tech police patrol only a 3-mile radius on an urban campus. Environmental concerns and thousands in fuel savings are driving the switch to electric. but Lieutenant Howard says officers already prefer the power of the new EVs.
If you were in an agency that had to do highway pursuits, is this the vehicle you'd want?
I believe this would be a great vehicle to have if you're engaged in highway pursuits. Again, just because of the speed, just because how quickly it can get to that speed, this vehicle would definitely be my go-to if I was doing highway pursuits.
Reporter Brendan Keefe joins us with more in his investigation. Brendan, you said the EV patrol cars can save Georgia Tech money. How so?
Lee, each of these EV patrol cars is expected to shave about $4,000 off of the annual fuel costs for the department, and that's even after paying for the electricity to charge the patrol vehicles. Another thing is these EVs don't need oil changes, so over the life of the vehicle, maintenance costs are expected to be about half of a normal vehicle.
What are the drawbacks to EV patrol cars when compared to their internal combustion counterparts?
Well, for these Mustang EV patrol cars, there's no divider between the back seat and where the patrol officer is driving. So when they arrest someone, they have to call for another vehicle to transport the arrestee to the jail. And the other thing is that the range of these vehicles is only about 250 miles before they need a charge. That's great for a campus like Georgia Tech, but maybe not so great right now for the state police.
While police have to find ways to keep up with evolving technology in cars, there's a push to reduce the number of high-speed pursuits because they can end in crashes with serious injuries and even death to innocent bystanders.
The real important question in all of this is it worth it?
A 2023 report from the Department of Justice outlines what an officer should pursue in order to help prevent a rise in deadly crashes. You can learn about the recommendations on InvestigateTV.com. Just search high-speed stakes.
While electric vehicles change the game for law enforcement, another innovation is set to become standard for passenger cars. By September 2029, new cars will be required to have automatic emergency braking, and experts believe it could save hundreds of lives. Reporter Susan Campbell shows us how it works.
This is Joe, a cardboard cutout who's helping us test out automatic emergency braking.
Basically, it's going to apply the brakes if you aren't able to reach them in time.
This safety feature already comes standard on several vehicles, including the Kia EV9 SUV. For this demonstration, James Cox from Courtesy Kia was driving about 20 miles per hour. As we're driving toward Joe, you can see James doesn't have his foot anywhere near the brake, but the vehicle still stops to avoid the obstacle in the road.
It's definitely going to apply its brakes pretty hard. You know, you might lean forward a little bit during that process of it applying the brakes.
In 5 years, the technology will be required in all new cars and light-duty trucks. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's new rule means cars must be able to stop and avoid contact with the vehicle in front of them at up to 62 miles per hour. The systems also have to be able to detect pedestrians in daylight and darkness. And the systems will have to apply brakes automatically up to 90 miles per hour if a collision with a vehicle is imminent, and up to 45 miles per hour when a pedestrian is detected.
Absolutely great that NHTSA, more so than requiring this, standardizing it. You know, that NHTSA is going to make it very clear so that consumers understand how the technology works and that there's a consistency across all vehicle types, so that you know what you can or can't depend on the vehicle doing to help you out.
Carl Brower is an analyst for IC Cars. He says it should be relatively easy for car makers to meet the new standards.
The only thing that's tricky about this technology is that you never want it to false alarm. And I've experienced it myself. I've heard from plenty of other people who have too, where there's like a shadow being cast by a tree, and the shadow, for whatever reason at that time of day and that angle, sort of looks like a person on the road, and the car starts to go into panic mode thinking you're about to run into something.
NHTSA estimates the new requirements for automatic emergency braking will save at least 360 lives a year and prevent more than 24,000 injuries annually.
And this is going to work at lower speeds, high speeds. If you're inside of a parking lot and you're just driving around the parking lot, someone walks out or a vehicle pulls out from their space, you know, it's going to detect that if you don't detect it, and it's going to apply those brakes to keep you safe.
just like it did for Joe.
NHTSA is also working on a separate rule that will require heavy trucks, including tractor trailers, to have automatic emergency braking systems. They estimate annually the rule will prevent nearly 20,000 crashes and 8,000 injuries.
Still to come, a skincare craze on social media has preteens asking their parents for expensive products.
Here's my moisturizer and here's my serum.
We take an in-depth look at what ingredients doctors say could damage young skin.
But first, more and more people are preparing for the extreme.
Having the extra, so when it's needed, you don't have to run out for it and in an emergency or in a panic to get it when everybody else is panicking.
We uncover what's driving a surge to stock up on essentials and take you inside a business that specializes in underground bunkers.
When you hear Doomsday Preppers, you might think disaster obsessed.
But research finds more Americans are embracing the idea of being prepared. In the last 5 years, the number of preppers in the United States has doubled, and it's estimated 7 million American households can survive on their own for at least 31 days.
Reporter Zach Summers explains how the people stocking their homes with essentials might just be your neighbors.
Who are preppers?
It looks like,
Well, I would say,
I don't like the word prepper.
We'll get back to them in a moment. The dictionary defines a prepper as someone who gathers materials and makes plans in preparation for surviving a major disaster.
My name's Corey Hubbard. I'm co-owner of DEF CON Underground.
Corey and his Kansas City-based team have been building underground survival bunkers for the past 7 years.
A lot of people just have this feeling things are getting worse and eventually something's going to happen.
The DEF CON 5 is the company's most basic unit.
So you'd be almost 30 feet deep.
Made of steel, it has air and water filtration, a sink, stove, toilet, beds, and storage. A family of 3 can survive inside for up to 60 days. Corey says inquiries skyrocketed in 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine.
Anytime Putin comes out and talks about a nuclear weapon or tries to, saber rattle or anything like that, we get an uptick.
The emails and calls have leveled off since, but Corey says those who are serious about buying, you would never know they were preppers.
These are just ordinary people.
Researchers found since 2017, the number of preppers in America has doubled to 20 million, and up to a quarter of them are people of color, many citing war, COVID-19, inflation, and political discourse as reasons to stock their homes with essentials like food, water, and other life-saving supplies. Preppers in the U.S. spend billions every year stockpiling everything from toilet paper to protective gear. Those we interviewed tell us being a prepper doesn't define them, and they believe there are more of them than what the data shows.
My name is George Holt. I'm co-owner of Riverside Survival.
George has been prepping for 12 years. He doesn't own a bunker, but his survival store north of the river has supplies you wouldn't find in most places, including dehydrated food that can last up to 25 years.
It's almost like having insurance.
The father of 2 lives by the tagline, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. It's self-reliance.
Just having the extra, so when it's needed, you don't have to run out for it and in an emergency or in a panic to get it when everybody else is panicking.
For 25-year-old William Gay, prepping is preparation.
But it's an understanding of how things work.
The accountant by day grew up scouting and camping. Being prepared was instilled in him.
I have the tools to do things that I anticipate should happen, might happen, could happen, and how to fix those things.
my name is Dawn Acosta.
Dawn Acosta says the pandemic and the 2020 protests were a turning point for her.
Seen things I've never seen happen in my life. You know, empty shelves, riots come to my city.
The 65-year-old retiree started prepping because she doesn't trust the future to be anything like the past. She says sustaining a strong community is most important.
Get people around you that have diverse skills, you know, that can help you, and, you know, don't be afraid to stock up on things.
Back at DEFCON Underground, Corey believes bunkers could become more commonplace as a larger number of Americans start to embrace the prepper attitude.
I think you're going to start to see them incorporated into like newer construction homes. People just want to be a little more prepared than they were.
You don't have to think end of the world when it comes to being prepared.
The CDC explains there are steps that you can take ahead of time to better respond to emergencies, including chemical spills, gas leaks, or natural disasters like hurricanes or tornadoes.
You can find a variety of scenarios and ways to protect yourself and your loved ones at emergency.cdc.gov. Coming up, a popular skincare chemical could be too powerful for young people.
A 10-year-old going into Sephora and buying a retinol is definitely not necessary.
We'll break down which products are safe for teens and why they might not need a complex routine just yet. Having a multi-step skincare routine, it's all over social media, and preteens are taking notice.
While adults can benefit from the use of different products, doctors say children could actually be doing more harm than good.
Reporter Carrie Beal explains which ingredients are safe for your kid's skin.
Here's my moisturizer and here's my serum that I just used.
10 and 11-year-olds showing off their skincare routine.
See, I look adorable right now.
Often using many products.
I use about 3, and if you add the face mask, 4.
And they admit they are influenced by social media.
That's why I wanted to get it. I kind of wanted to be like the trendy girls on YouTube and TikTok.
Some even seeing good results.
Before, I would break out way more on my chin and my nose, and sometimes up here. But now I break out less down here, right here.
But do girls under 12 need to do these routines? Internal medicine Dr. Zion Lamb from Greenville says many of these products are simply a waste of money.
Your skin cells are thriving in your tweens age. It's when your collagen, elastin productions are peaking. And so there's really no reason to be using these active ingredients that are more meant for corrective treatment.
And sometimes they can damage the skin.
A 10-year-old going into Sephora and buying a retinol is definitely not necessary.
She says ingredients to avoid: retinol, topical vitamin C, and chemical exfoliants like glycolic acid, lactic acid, and salicylic acid.
All of those can be very sensitizing for the skin, and it's just too early to start.
Items she says are okay: a gentle cleanser, sunscreen, and a moisturizer.
I think it's all about keeping it simple.
Doctors say some kids hit puberty at earlier stages than others, which can impact their skin health. If you want your child to start an active product before their teen years, you should ask their doctor about it first.
Up next, staying active knows no age limits.
There you go, have a brownie.
Thank you so much, Marianne.
You're welcome.
Meet the senior who's keeping one of the oldest train stations in the country on track.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime online. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel at Investigate TV. You can catch stories and full episodes. Thousands of people nationwide help keep Amtrak on the rails, and this includes an 82-year-old from Vermont.
Reporter Joe Carroll introduces us to the train master keeping her community connected in more ways than one.
At the Castleton Community Center, the bone building class
5, 6, 7, 8
is all about numbers.
3, 4
14 seniors meet at 9, 2 times a week.
7, 8
Marianne Jacobowski has been going since the class started in 2000. The goal is to strengthen bones and improve balance.
And we have fun doing it.
Marianne now teaches the class, and today it's all women.
Okay, everybody, break is over.
After a few more exercises, the class comes to a close.
Time to cool down.
But this is just a warm-up to Marianne's day. The 82-year-old works 7 days a week at a job a few miles away.
Doesn't take any gas to get to work over here.
She walks from her home to her employment. Marianne not only runs the Amtrak station in Castleton, she owns the building.
It's my railroad hat. There. Now I'm a train master. It's one of the oldest train stations that Amtrak has on the line. What you see here is 1850. If not the oldest, one of the oldest.
When D&H Railroad stopped running the rails here in Castleton in the 1960s,
Marianne's parents saw an opportunity and bought it and turned it into a music shop. It's been in the family ever since.
Been here for quite a while.
Amtrak returned in 2010.
What you have is pretty unusual.
Thank you. Well, we try to keep it unusual. That's what we like. You know?
The floors are original, and thick rope is still used for a practical reason.
That's what they use to fill the gaps.
At Marianne's station, it's all aboard for everyone. However, she doesn't sell tickets.
And I don't have any money here, or I don't deal with it, so.
The train will be coming from Rutland.
Should be getting close, Joe. Should be getting close.
Final stop, New York City. 2 people and a dog will be making the journey.
I like to meet people and talk to people and show them around. And anybody want a brownie before you go?
Is that who you are, that kind of person?
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
The train stops for just a few minutes, long enough for the passengers to get on and Marianne to pass out her goodies.
There you go. Have a brownie.
Thank you so much, Marianne.
You're welcome.
And with that,
all aboard.
The train moves on. Marianne, though, is on track for its return in the evening.
Every day is different. Every day is fun.
No bones about it.
Tell you what, you go to some big city train station, you're not going to get brownies
No
served to you,
brownies.
right?
And not a smile like that.
I know. I like her.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
We'll have to make a stop.
There you go. I know. All right, that's it for us here on Investigate TV Plus. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. Thanks for watching. On the next Investigate TV Plus, it's the promise of a quick fix for hangovers, travel troubles, even serious illnesses. IV therapy clinics are popping up nationwide.
In these situations where you literally have someone's life in your hands, there has to be a procedure.
We uncover how a lack of consistent regulations can lead to serious injuries or death.